I'm finally done with school for the week. No more things to do. Oh my god. I'm gonna cherish you.
Yeah, don't we all know this amazing feeling? You're 3 assignments behind, your room is a mess, your phone storage is almost full, your to-do list is longer than the equator, and all you want to do is disappear for a month to finally sort your life out. I get how tempting this may sound, but what if I told you that you actually don't have to have a whole winter arc in order to be organized and finally get rid of that crippling anxiety of feeling like your life is a mess? Well, hi angels! Today's video is going to be all about how to stay organized and to become organized without losing your mind. This is quite a long topic, so I probably won't be able to fit everything in this video, so there will probably be a mini series, so make sure to subscribe to not miss out on that. Anyway, I'll separate today's video into three different chapters, being where to organize, how to organize, and how to maintain your organization. Without any further ado, let's get into it.
Chapter 1. Where do I organize?
First things first, you need a place when all that organizing can happen. So a planner, a physical notebook, or some kind of a digital space. And this is probably the hardest part of it all. For me, it took quite a long time before I settled on my 3 main organization spaces. So Apple Notes, Google Calendar, and Notion.
In Apple Notes, since you can access them super quickly and there's basically no loading, unlike in Notion, I use it to write down any quick ideas, so random thoughts, memories, or basically any ideas, and organize my schoolwork. It's definitely a bit weird, but this seriously has not failed me yet. When it comes to Google Calendar, I found that it's amazing to give an overview of your month. So here I place my social media / work schedule, also any meetings / schedules, etc. You can also place the most important deadlines here. And for Notion, it's all the rest.
But all that is simply what works for me. And as you probably know, we're all different people. That's why it's important to choose whatever suits you best. Some examples of space that you might like are Notion, physical notebook or planner, Notes app, Calendar app, Excel / Google Sheets. For me personally, the best is some kind of digital space, since you basically can carry around whatever you want, and it also won't get any ugly when it gets altered, contrary to a physical planner or something. Because as you know, as you cross out some mistakes made, yeah, it does get uglier, and I'm an aesthetic lover. Also, a very important thing you need to know is that you should keep all your ideas, to-dos, notes, whatever, in as little space as possible. And what do I mean by that is that you should have as little separate platforms or apps or whatever you keep all your stuff in, or as little notebooks, calendars, whatever, because trust me, you will get lost and confused and angry and disorganized. That's why I like Notion so much, because you basically can customize it however you want. It's 1 million different things in just one single thing. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by Notion, girl. I have 500 subscribers, though I wish. My email is in the description, by the way. Notion, if you're hearing this, email me. So if you're a digital girly, try out Notion. Anyway, I think the maximum amount of apps / sites or whatever you should use is 3, maybe 4, but that's the max, not more.
Chapter 2. How to organize.
Okay, now that you have your preferred space to organize, it's finally time to sort out your life.
Tip 1. functionality and convenience over aesthetics.
Alright, we all know and love those Pinterest, aesthetic, magnificent notes and Notion templates and stuff. But sadly, the stuff you use for organizing your life should not just be an eye candy, it should be functional. Honestly, I'm a strong believer that the simpler you make something, the easier it is to work with it. So I take this mantra with me when it comes to note-taking or organizing. It's the usefulness that is the main point, and everything else comes second. Because not only overly aestheticized spaces can feel very overwhelming, they are also crazy hard to maintain.
This can be amazing when you have all the time in the world to add those pretty borders, images, emojis, etc. But when you actually need to do something quickly and you don't have the time to waste, which is most of the time, there's no way in the world that you'll be able to make everything up that aesthetic standard. Your stuff will lose coherence, you'll feel like you need to redo those pages, whatever. Just no.
Trust me, I've learned my lesson. I get you. Trust me, I really do. I'd be the last person to be a fan of minimalism, as you can see by like whatever things I have in my room also. What are you doing here? But in this one thing, if you actually want to be productive and not be constantly angry and disappointed, ditch the aesthetics.
Tip 2. Have a dailies and weeklies to-do list.
A weeklies or dailies to-do list is basically just a to-do list that is best done digitally. This is just the habits that you do every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever. Unless you like rewriting the same stuff over and over again every single day. It's not for me to judge, okay? Basically, a list of things that you need to take care of repeatedly that don't really change. The key is to keep them realistic. You can't expect yourself to do like 20 of these different habits on a work day or a school day after you come home from like 10 hours of social interactions. Come on. The maximum amount of dailies you should have is like 10. No more. Maximum. Trust me, you'll just end up disappointed. And even if you have just 10 of them, don't expect to actually do every single one of them every day.
For me, my dailies consist of chores, cleanliness, so washing my face, social media posts, updating the school calendar, responding on Instagram, cleaning my room, doing Anki flashcards, working out or just stretching, doing homework, and something having to do with hobbies. Usually it's languages.
And most of the time I manage to do like 6, 7, 8 of these, which is completely normal, and it still leaves me feeling fresh, nice, and feeling like I'm actually doing something. And that's the point, which leads us to my next point.
Tip 3. Don't make up for every habit you didn't do.
Also, love, just because you didn't practice an instrument for an hour yesterday as you promised yourself you would, does not mean you have to practice it for 2 hours today. Don't make up for every single thing you don't do unless it's actually important. Oh, you didn't manage to write a diary entry yesterday? Well, it's enough you complete a diary entry today, and after that, if you still have the energy, you can make up for that yesterday's entry if you feel like it. Just because you fell out of the track a little bit doesn't mean you have to do I don't know what to get back on it. Simply continue on, because sometimes, usually, making up for stuff will just leave you feeling drained and therefore making you burnt out, which makes you feel miserable and definitely doesn't lead to productivity. Come on, Angel, you are not a machine.
Tip 4. Prioritize your to-do list and keep it simple.
It's very good to have a to-do list, obviously, but those to-do lists tend to get real long real quick. That's why it's useful to have some separate ones, for example, for shopping, school, work, socials, etc. Or just use labels, like in Notion, for instance. What's even more useful is prioritizing them accordingly. I think we all know the Eisenhower matrix by now. It's just basically dividing tasks based on urgency and importance, and can really really come in handy. For me, I simply use labels on Notion. That helps with doing what actually needs to be done instead of focusing on tasks of little importance. The sad truth is that our attention and our time are not unlimited, so use them wisely.
Tip 5. Start off with an easy task. Now, this tip really comes in handy when even after all the prioritizing, your to-do list is longer than the numbers of the episodes of a random Polish TV series that has been airing on TV since 1997. To spot an easy task more easily, just take 3 highlighters for 3 different levels of difficulty and start marking each and every task in your to-do list with a corresponding color. Now, search for ones that are marked with the highlighter assigned for easy stuff and pick one of these. This will truly help you to get in the flow, since now you can see that, wow, hold on, the things on my to-do list are in fact achievable. But remember not to get too lazy. Move on to a more difficult task next, because otherwise you waste all your energy on doing these easy peasy little things. Tip 6. Take one leg and turn it into 10 pools.
And by this, I mean taking a huge and scary task and separating it into a few more manageable and less scary tasks. We often don't start on big tasks, not because we are lazy, but because it just seems so scary and endless. I mean, it would definitely be less scary to swim through 10 pools and being able to easily see how far you are, while also knowing when is the best time to take a break, than to swim through a whole lake.
Tip 7. Don't treat your brain as a storage unit.
If you had a brain for longer than a week, you've probably realized by now that this thing is not very good at remembering information.
That's why as soon as you think of something you need to do, or as soon as your teacher gives you a due date for something, write it down right away.
This amazing but incredibly simple tip will help you with getting rid of a little bit of that anxiety that comes from thinking, oh, I'm sure that I must have forgotten about something.
Tip 8. If it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid.
Angels, I've had my fair share of silly solutions for my problems. For example, I struggle with remembering due dates and homework.
The logical solution? Get a calendar and write all that stuff there, like Google Calendar.
Well, I did get a calendar that I made in my notes app. But I have a little secret for you. It works wonders. My performance this year has improved tremendously, all thanks to that little guy. Even though he's not a standard solution. So that's why you shouldn't be afraid to use some things in a weird way, if it works for you.
Chapter 3. How to maintain your organization.
All these previous points will still leave your life feeling messy if you don't maintain them right. Now, don't worry, because this part is definitely the most relaxing part of it all. The way I maintain my organization is by giving myself like 30 minutes or something a day for so-called cat hours. I first heard this term on TikTok, but it's basically just giving yourself some time every day to simply catch up.
So some of the things you can do are looking through your calendar for the week and seeing if there's anything to be added or deleted, and do the same for your to-do list as well. Starting and prioritizing your to-do list, or just cleaning up things that seem misaligned or out of place in your planner, your Notion space.
So, easy stuff. And you'll be right. You'll be surprised how much of a difference it really makes. Because you need to constantly clean something in order for it to stay organized. And that's just the way it is. And that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching as always. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing. Also like and comment if you have any question whatsoever regarding today's video or whatever question. Just leave it down in the comments. I'll be very happy to respond to you. Anyway, as you might have noticed, today's video is mostly about organizing whatever's in your head and helping you by getting on the paper or in a digital space. But I also love to make a video about how to keep things organized around you, like physical things. For example, your room, your phone, your computer, your email, blah blah blah, all that. Because yeah, I think we all struggle with clutter. But beside all that, Once more, thank you so much for watching until the end. I love you so much and see you in the next video, angels. Bye!